It's been 5 years, but even today, signs of the attack are difficult to miss among the cottages and alleyways of Yeonpyeong-do Island's port. Even 5 years later, residents of the South Korean island remember the trauma of November 23, 2010 like it was yesterday. But these islanders remain defiant. They never let fear overcome. Bombardment of Yeonpyeong 5 years on. Our Connie Kim traveled by land and by sea. She reports from Yeonpyeong-do, South Korea.
Some 110 kilometers east of the capital Seoul is Yeonpyeong-do Island. And less than 4 kilometers away from the island is North Korea. The only thing that separates the island from the north is an invisible maritime border known as the Northern Limit Line. The island, which sits within close firing range, has been under constant potential threat from North Korea. On November 23, 2010, that concern became a devastating reality. Out of the clear blue sky, North Korean artillery fire pounded Yeonpyeong-do Island. This cement hall was attacked during North Korea's artillery shelling. As you can see, there is a huge hole inside, and you can just see how devastating it was during the shelling. North Korea fired around 170 shells and rockets at the island, hitting 54 buildings, including houses.
완전 다 불탔어요. 막 큰 소리로 막 검은 연기랑 이 골목 이렇게. 그렇지, 이 골목에서. 저쪽에 우리가 서 있는데 여기서 터지는 소리가 막 나니까.
This alley suffered the worst damage 5 years ago. Looking at the houses here now, which have since been reconstructed or transformed, it's hard to imagine they were once swallowed by flames, roofs blown off, and windows shattered.
When I think of the day when North Korea fired artillery shells, I can't bear it. Everything was on fire. I ran to the evacuation shelter and fled with my grandchildren to Incheon the next day.
A total of 32 new buildings and houses have been newly built, with the government pouring in $7 million. But whenever residents here make kimchi, they can't help but think of the day North Korea fired artillery shells on South Korean soil.
I will never forget what happened, not until the two Koreas become reunified or give some kind of sign that North Korea will never attack the South again.
This is one of the 7 newly built evacuation bunkers after North Korea's artillery attacks. It's a constant reminder that residents here are living with threat coming from North Korea. These bunkers replace 19 outdated evacuation centers. And not only do they provide refuge for residents, they have multiple uses, also serving as libraries and community centers. After the North Korean shelling, the government erected a monument on the island in remembrance of 2 soldiers who sacrificed their lives during the attack. The island has also left some of the burnt houses untouched to show visitors the tragic reality of what happened to South Korea. These are just some of the efforts made by the government to develop Yeonpyeong-do Island into a so-called dark tourism site, where sites of war or disaster are turned into travel destinations. But the number of visitors to Yeonpyeong-do Island has been on a decline after interest in the shelled island peaked the year following the conflict.
Building security training centers could help change the negative image of Yeonpyeong-do Island. Since it's close to North Korea, people can also experience activities related to security education. It's one of the ways to attract tourists to the island, which can lead to transportation infrastructure development and corporate investment.
Making sure this island is safe for residents and tourists free from North Korean provocations, South Korean soldiers are based at the local Yeonpyeong unit.
Yeonpyeong-do Island is closest to North Korea. In potential threat of clashes, I am on full standby, acknowledging that real wartime situation can unfold any time.
Yeonpyeong-do Island has slowly been recovering from what many call one of the worst clashes since the outbreak of the Korean War. Overcoming their trauma and memories of the shelling, the island is on the path toward returning to the normalcy it had before the devastation, and trying to find a better future as a historic site. Connie Kim, Arirang News.